Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I will be doing the follow-up from Stamp Wars 20 and sending out this card to my hero, which is going to be Maria from Kitchen Sink Stamps. Let's go ahead and get started. So Kitchen Sink Stamps is a pretty cool stamp company. The stamps look realistic and they're all labeled really nicely. This is called the Bitty Tulip Bouquet. And by the way, they're offering 20% off right now until the 18th at midnight Pacific. So make sure you go over and visit Maria at Kitchen Sink Stamps and grab yourself some stamps. So we're going to get started with some Hammer Mill 100-pound paper. And what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to make a line here because I want a table, you know. So I'll make this line and then I'm going to just mask it off here because I want to stencil a background here. Kind of like a wall. So I kind of like this. This is from a Colorful Life Designs. It's just sort of a, I don't know, wallpapery kind of background, and I'm going to use Simon Hurley's Game Over. And I'm just going to make sure there's no orange on that brush because I sometimes dip in dark. And I'm just going to lightly ink blend here, and I'm not even going to ink blend the whole thing because you'll see later I'm going to be doing something quite different with this card. So I'll just fill that in with the Over the Moon, which is my favorite Simon Hurley yellow, by the way. And now I've got my wall. Now I just need to do my table. So I'm going to use that same piece of mint tape and I'm going to just mask off the line. And I don't care if the line's there, it's fine. And I've got this little Tim Holtz sort of buffalo check stencil. So I'm going to make myself a little tablecloth, but it would help if you actually laid that on there straight. Let me get that straightened out here. And then I'm going to use a red ink, I think, to fill this in. Yeah, so I'm going to use this geranium and just a blending brush, and I'm just going to blend in that tablecloth, so to speak. Yeah, I kind of am a sucker for buffalo check red tablecloths. It reminds me of picnics. Now, you don't have to do any of this. You can just leave it. I just like to, you know, put a little twist here. So I'll go ahead and remove my tape and get my magnetic platform out of the way and get out my little mini Misty stamping platform. And I'm going to be stamping out both sets of tulips, so there are two sets. You don't have to do them both, but you can, and I'm going to. So I'll be starting out with, see, now these come with the picture, and there's a picture on the back so you see what they're supposed to look like, so you kind of have a guide. So you see we've got 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 2B, 2C, 2N, so on and so forth, so that they're all kind of in order with how they should be stamped. Now you can go in reverse order. I know Nancy likes to do that. My brain just won't go backwards. So these ladies on Stamp Wars, this is Green Hills, I think I said it was. This is a Hero Arts ink that I just happen to have some little cubes of. I thought I'd use. And I'm using mostly little ink cubes, but I'm using some other inks too. So you can mix and match your inks. It doesn't matter. So I'm just going in succession and I'm matching up. So apologies in advance. You'll see my head a lot in this video because I really have to get my face down over it to be able to see it. And even then, honestly, you'd see nothing but head because I have to get really super close. So I'm going to do the best I can. I want to say that one was Green Meadow. Went by too fast for me to see. I do have this sped up because I don't want to, you know, have you stuck watching this video for a long time. I'm just demonstrating how I use these stamps. And let's go ahead and get the third one and make sure everything's lined up. Now there's little dots on here that show you what should line up. And there's my head, so you can't see me lining it up. And my crazy hair. Okay. I'm just making sure I have the right one here. I already had to throw away one video because I did the wrong one. like twice. So, yeah, Nancy challenged me to do this live, but I just wanted to get it done. So I went in with the field greens again. And now I'm going to go in with the last one and get it lined up. And this one I'm using a very dark color, so I want to make perfectly sure it's lined up. And of course it's not, but it doesn't matter. It still comes out beautiful. So because they're leaves, they're kind of forgiving. So I've stamped both sets of leaves now, and now it's time for me to do the flowers. And that's just the order I like to go in. So I'm going to lay my first layer of flowers on here, making sure I have the right one here. So I've got one B, and I'm going to see if I can, nope, not going to be able to fit the D's on there at the same time. Okay, well, it was worth a try, depending on how you spread your leaves out, I guess. But I was keeping in mind what they're going to be like inside of the little bowl vase. Now this is archival in Pink Peony. And believe it or not, these are going to be a deep, deep pinky purpley reddish. Yeah. And I'll go in next with the picked raspberry, also in archival. And the tulips are super easy to line up. A lot easier to see. There we go. I think I'm going to do that one twice. I just didn't quite get the coverage I wanted. Okay, and then I'm going to go in. Here's the third one, and I'll be going in with the Catherine Pooler in Cranberry Fizz. And on the second one, I did that one last, well, second to last, because, well, you'll see after it's stamped out, you don't really notice a difference. But lastly, I'm going to put the little last one on, and I'm going to go in with that red geranium again. There we go. I've got a cat trying to break into my office here. I'm going to do that one twice. It's nice and dark, and I'll go ahead and off camera stamp the other flowers. And I'll be back when that's done. All right, that's done. Now there's still the number 5s. And I can do those both at the same time. And believe it or not, I'm going to be doing those in black. You won't even really notice that it's black because it's such a small amount, but it's the deepest, darkest color in here, and I don't have anything any deeper red. Black's gonna do just perfect. I just love these little tulips. Tulips are my favorite. See how you don't even really notice that it's black. It just makes it much, much darker. So last thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp our little bowl. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm visualizing the flowers and I can see that all the stems are going to be inside the bowl and that my bowl is sitting straight on the table. So I'm starting in with Blue Sky archival ink. So I've got a kind of a blue tint to my my little bowl. And I will follow that with some VersaFine Clair and Morning Mist. I don't have a lot of gray inks, believe it or not, because I'm kind of a colorful person, so gray isn't something I kind of keep. So, but we'll do that, and then I'm going to go in finally with the archival and watering can, which came in a kit. So, a set of 4. And it's dark. It's kind of like the color of galvanized metal, I guess. All right, so that's done. Now I do want that to dry because I'm going to be doing a little bit of shading in here. So I will kind of set that aside for a second, just for a second. You see how they're shading on the picture? And just kind of make sure everything's dry. And it turns out that the red geranium wasn't dry. And that was done a long time ago, but it's still smeared. That's okay. I don't mind. It's going to be partly covered, but I'm taking my little Altenew blending brush with the Simon Hurley and Wolf, because it's a super light gray, if you don't use a heavy hand. And I'm just kind of shading in and around where the water would be. And just very, very lightly kind of going over that with my brush. I'm not getting as much ink as I wanted, but I'm freaking out there because my red is smearing. Doggone red, it's my favorite color, but boy, it can be a little turkey. So you see, I'm just kind of swiping inward just to kind of get a little bit more dimension in my little scene there, and coat basically so that it doesn't look like just a completely see-through thing. To complete that and to get that little shadow on the bottom, which you end up not seeing anyway, but just in case you don't take it the next step that I'm doing, I'm just using one of my little makeup blending brushes, and I'm turning this so I can kind of get a good side-to-side motion here, and I'm just lightly putting a shadow. Just kind of a smudgy line there is all. And then I'll go ahead and blend a little bit more around the edges, because these little makeup sponges hold more ink than the little brushes do. So that part's all done. And the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to actually put these inside of a window like you're looking in a house, which is why I wanted the wallpaper in the background. And off camera and earlier, I actually, and I'm just kind of auditioning where I want that to go. I embossed a piece of paper with just some a wood grain embossing folder, and I traced around the window and then cut out on the inside of the window. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue this piece down to the card base, and then I'll glue the window down. But we're going to want to get this part glued down first, and then when I go to glue the window down, I'm going to have this first put down on a top folding card base. So it was part of the rules with Stamp Wars. I realized that after Stamp Wars, there's not really any rules. Just, stamp out the stamp. And I would like to thank Maria from Kitchen Sink Stamps for sponsoring Stamp Wars 20 last night. I had a ball. I hope everybody else had some fun. And I will be sending this card to Maria, and I also will have a giveaway. So in order to qualify for the giveaway, you'll need to hopefully give me a thumbs up on this video, but definitely you'll need to comment down below. And what I'd like to know is what color you would make your tulips, because they come again in so many beautiful colors. My friend used to grow them in her yard, and she had like an English garden almost, the kind with just flowers everywhere. And I used to love touring her yard and looking at the multiple colors of tulips in her yard. She had fire ones and curly ones and just tulips everywhere. Love, love, love them. And I admire anybody that can grow things. I can't. I definitely have a black thumb. So I'm trimming this down to 4 by 5 1/4. And I will be putting it on a white card base. And I realized I had lost some of my tulips there, but that's okay. It's the whole part of the scene that I'm creating here. And I'm just auditioning my little window frame. And this is one from the latest Tim Holtz Ideology release that I bought, and I thought, you know what, I bought these, I'm gonna use them. And no, you don't have to make a fancy 3D project to use those windows. You can put them on a card, no problem. So we'll get this trimmed down, and then we'll do our card base. There we go. All right, let's get some junk out of the way here. Let me grab I already have some 8.5 by 11 cut in half 110 pound accent opaque, or maybe it's 120 pound. So I'm just going to score this at 5.5. That was a dirty piece. So I cut those out and then I leave them on my desk, and you know, I'm splashing away at ink or something and don't realize it. That's just the sloppy nature of my crafting. So I'll go ahead and fold this in half, and I never get these straight either. It doesn't matter. It looks straight. Everything looks straight. I burnish it and it's not straight anymore. It's okay. I'll either trim it off or just leave it. It's not a huge deal. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and glue this down to that card base. You could even go so far as to make that one into a shaker if you wanted to, but I really didn't want to distract away from my main focus, which would have been the bitty tulips. So here we go. We'll just get that laid down on there. Just kind of press down, and I'm just using my reptile adhesive like usual. You see, I made myself a new filming surface, so there's not so much glare, I'm hoping. Then I'm going to go ahead and glue my window down. Then all we'll have left to do is put a sentiment. So definitely don't forget to comment so you can win. I can't tell you what you're going to win just yet, but it'll be good. Any prize that comes from me is going to be a good prize. And, you know, I'll send you a card and stuff like that. And I'll send you a surprise card, a surprise package. The contest is for U.S. residents only. I'm so sorry. But if you're a Canadian or in another foreign country and you do make a comment, I will be happy to send you a card. Just let me know where you are. And then Nancy will be letting you guys know, and I couldn't say in a future date, maybe next Saturday, who the winners are. We've got, you know, everybody to do their videos. And we got this window glued down, so now I just need to grab a sentiment. Don't forget, today until tomorrow at midnight Pacific time, you can get 20% off at Kitchen Sink Stamps. And these are just, this is a set of sentiments I bought from QVC. It's so stinking cool. The only thing I was disappointed is I had to use my big Gemini, so I was really glad that I didn't get rid of it like I was going to, because it takes up so much space. But anyway, I've got this sentiment that I already made because I made a bunch. And I want it to not be white. I want it to kind of match with the sort of woodish feel of the rest of the card. So I'm just going to get out my little mat here, and I'm going to grab my antique linen distress ink, and I'm just going to run my ink pad over it. Not a big deal. And I had done all these sentiments and heat embossed them and everything else, so it's ready to go. And I felt like You're My Hero fit with our superhero theme for Stamp Wars 20. So we'll go ahead and get that glued down. And I will link in the description box below the link to Kitchen Sink Stamps. It is Nancy's affiliate link, so we would appreciate it if you did use that. And so Nancy can continue to send out prizes and do all the stuff she does. And then you can take 20% off with the code, and I'll post that down below. It's basically KSS Stamps. Stamp Wars 20. I forgot. It'll be in the description box. So, if you do like this video, I hope you'll consider giving me a thumbs up. And thank you for your continuing support for me and for Stamp Wars. And I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. Bye-bye.